Welcome to the Strategic Travel Entrepreneur. My name is Rita Perez. Hello. I've been a travel advisor for over 10 years and am navigating this winding road of entrepreneurship with you. I created this podcast because I wanted to share all the things I've learned from leaders both in and out of our industry that I really wish I would have known way back then. But alas, the important thing is I'm aware of them now, and I want you to be too. Ready for this week's show? Let's jump in. Hello everyone. Welcome back to the podcast. Thank you so much for being here. This week's episode is kind of my reflections on what Richard Fain of Royal Caribbean International recently said, that bookings are increasing, but bookings are increasing direct and not through travel advisors. And he's urging us to do a better job of I would say, communicating how beneficial we are. Because I know for them, for suppliers, we are the big communicators of updated policies and changes, and we're kind of like the customer service department in a sense for our supplier partners. So instead of them having to address the masses, they can address a smaller group, travel advisors, and that communication goes through that channel. So I would say if we're really going to it cost-wise, we are saving them a lot. And by saving them a lot in labor for customer service reps, we get a commission. Woohoo! Remember my talk on fees and commissions? Like, that is our affiliate commission for supporting them and actually, I guess, helping save on costs as well. But anyways, so we're going back to communication, and communication is a big thing. If you haven't been talking about travel because you had been nervous with everything that has gone on and you're still in the business, now is the time to start talking travel. I know some people's businesses are booming right now. So if that's you, kudos to you. You are doing great things. You may not need to listen in on this. But stay tuned if you do want to listen in on this anyways. Really, who I'm going to be talking to are those people that have been talking about travel and they're not seeing an influx of bookings that are happening right now with what I would say is a really great pre-wave season. And that is also why I am working on this wonderful event. Yes, I'm going to plug it one last time on the podcast. Prep for Wave Season is happening next week, November 1st through November 5th of 2021. You have sessions at 12 p.m. Eastern every single day. And then you have sessions at 3 p.m. Eastern every single day, except for Tuesday, that's 3:30. And we have amazing speakers. There's over 10 amazing speakers, diverse voices, different ages, different lengths of the industry, different sectors of the industry that they're in, diversity by ability and by disability and by parenthood, and we have members of the LGBTQIA, and we have people of color, just so many different people that you're going to be able to listen to help prepare yourself for this impending wave season. And again, like I love talking about foundations because I feel like this is a foundational episode, because we can be prepping all we want, but if we are not communicating who we are, what we do, who we help, who we serve, how we serve them, all of this prep is for naught. So if you have been one of those people that have been talking about travel and you haven't been getting some sort of an increase in bookings, it's time to do an audit of that communication process. What are you saying? How are you saying it? And to whom are you saying it? So let's break down a little bit more of these, the W's. So what? Are you being of service? And this is like when I work one-on-one with different travel pros, this is the biggest thing that I see is that like if I go onto your website, it is all saying like, hi, I'm Rita. I'm a travel agent and I can help you make travel stress-free. That does not, as someone who's looking at that, that does not like inspire me to want to work with you. That doesn't tell me like what exactly you're doing, because a lot of people still don't know what travel agents do or travel advisors do. So you have to communicate even those facts. That's like we're breaking it down, and you have to keep communicating these simple facts over and over and over again. I was listening to a podcast where she said, if you are sick of talking about something, keep talking about it, because somebody will still ask you that same question and still not get it until like it's, I don't know if I've said this before, but I think from what I've heard, it takes people 7 times or 7 interactions to hear something or to get into your realm before they decide to move forward on something. So you have to keep repeating same things over and over and over again. And these same things that you want to keep repeating are things that are going to be of value to your clients, your potential clients, but not only of value, that gives them inspiration, that gives them tangible advice, that makes them imagine. I mean, I just came off of 2 ocean cruises, and if I am putting myself, so my ideal client are corporate execs and entrepreneurs. And it was just amazing, the feeling that I was able to get every morning, opening my balcony door, taking my laptop onto the balcony and being able to sit down, stretch out my legs, and work in front of the ocean every single day. Feel the waves caressing my skin and getting that carefree feeling that invites all sorts of idea sparks. How romantic does that sound? And I'm not saying like romantic lovey-dovey. I'm saying like, for me, and I know who my ideal client is, their world is sitting on the couch or sitting in the little desk that they've created in their bedroom, or going to a workspace, or sitting in a Starbucks. And to be able to be physically transformed into a new area is life-changing on so many levels, because they need the break, because they've probably been doing 5 million things on top of doing the work from home stuff. They need the physical break, and they need to be able to bring new ideas back to their work, back to their business, back to their clients. And they cannot do that if they're sitting in the same environment day in and day out. I know your ideal client isn't that, but you need to be thinking like that. If your ideal client is parents, think about the parents that have been having to deal with the work from home, plus also being homeschool parents. Think about, I'm trying to think about the bride and groom, or the bride and bride, or the groom and groom who have had their wedding canceled 4 times already and are just looking for the final perfect match to go without a hitch. Like, what are their burdens? Like, you really have to dig deep down into, one, who do you want to serve? Because maybe you've served the parents and you don't really want to serve parents anymore. You would rather serve honeymoon couples, or vice versa. You have done destination weddings and you're kind of sick of that. You would rather work with family reunions. What do you want to be doing? And then talk about that, and primarily talk about that. So I, as someone who caters to corporate execs and business owners, I don't ever talk about weddings or romance travel. I don't ever talk about family travel. That is not what I do. That's not what I ever will do. Let me retract that statement. That is not what I will ever advertise on. Can I do it? Yes. And is that currently helping me get by in my travel business right now? Yes, thankfully. But what I want to be my bread and butter are these retreat and cruise experiences that I put on for those types of clients, because I love doing it and I love the transformations that happen. They get me so stinking giddy. So what is it that gets you giddy? Do you love planning custom luxury itineraries to Italy for culture seekers who just want to explore the world, get back out there, and talk to people who are not their neighbors? I know many of us can relate to that. Where are you talking to people who maybe they had to retire early because of all the circumstances that just happened? You need to get into the brain of your ideal client, in and out. What are they dreaming for? What are they yearning for? What have been their major pain points? Get deep into that, and that's what you need to be talking about. In addition to talking about these big things, you also need to be of value. So have you been posting? Like, we just had this huge update with the CDC starting on November 28th, on November 8th, if you hadn't heard. So Europeans are going to be able to travel back in the United States. So vaccinated people have one rule and unvaccinated people now have a new rule. So are you communicating that to the people who are following you, the people who are in your circle, the people who are in your email list, in your Facebook group, wherever you're communicating to people? Are you letting them know about these changes? And I'm saying letting them know, them being anyone who is a potential client, not just a current client. Are you providing tangible tips? AKA, you need to be bringing N95 face masks when you're traveling abroad right now. When you're checking in for your cruise, make sure to have all your documents in hand so that it provides as quick of a check-in as possible. Those little tidbits, and I say to, it's not really trade secrets, but it's things that they could probably, if they wanted to, Google on their own, but you are allowing them to skip the step of Google and letting them stalk wherever they stalk you from. Even if it's just a conversation that you have, if you're going live anywhere, if you're uploading a video anywhere, if you're doing some networking and having conversations that way, these are the things that you need to be talking about. Are you being of service? This is not about you. This is about your client. And your client, you need to be able to go into their shoes. You need to be able to imagine certain scenarios for them of what their life could be because they have worked with you. So no more, I'm a travel advisor, I'm a travel supplier, and I make your planning stress-free. What does that mean? That means when you check in at the airport, you will never have to see your luggage again until you arrive onto your luxury hotel room. Or you don't have to, when you check out of your hotel room, checking into your luxury river cruise, you don't have to worry about a thing with your luggage because it's going to go straight from the hotel room to your cabin. Like, these are the little things that we know from being in the industry. And if you're not sure because you're a little bit new in the industry, make sure to talk to your clients who are in the industry, have been in the industry, to ask about some of these things. Not only that, YouTube, because our clients are totally doing the YouTube. That is where they are finding their information. So you do the same. YouTube is a huge, and not only is YouTube a huge search engine, I would call it, it is also, from a graphic I just saw, it is the number 2 most downloadable app, right after TikTok. And I personally will not get TikTok, but seeing that makes me think, and I have started to ramp up my YouTube efforts. So that's a whole other, that could be like a whole other podcast episode about utilizing and what content should be on which. But yeah, just helpful hint there if you did not know. So that is the what. This is what you are going to be talking about. The Strategic Travel Entrepreneur is brought to you by Mailbox Power. Harness the power to attract and nurture your clients through something many entrepreneurs have forgotten about, the mailbox. Create beautiful custom campaigns and automate annual mailings for birthdays and holidays. And with a pro account, get access to mailboxes not currently on your mailing list that are just waiting for the travel service you offer. Visit my Mailbox Power affiliate link in the show notes to get started today and support this podcast. How are you going to be talking about it? I would hope that it is hopeful yet realistic. So hopeful that they are going to have a great experience, but realistic that there are certain challenges that they may face and that they need some extra patience. Pack that extra patience. Are you talking because it comes from personal travel experience? If you are not traveling, you are doing yourself and your clients a disservice. Also, so many suppliers, thank you so much, travel suppliers, are having incredible offers to get you on their product or experiencing their product. So I know money has been tight for all of us, but it's like crazy good offers. And this is how I was able to sail on 2 ocean cruises recently. I had to do it to experience this because I had to bring back what the experience was like to my clients. And you need to do the same. If you are not experiencing travel right now, as things are starting to pick up, where's that trust factor? Especially if you're a new agent, advisor, or especially if you have kind of like had a lull over the past year. How are people supposed to trust you if you don't have firsthand experience? And then, of course, you want to keep your ideal client in mind. This is going again, you're not talking about yourself, you're talking about how they can be transformed. Where are you talking to these people? Of course, social media is the obvious thing that we're talking about. Social media is not, in my book, a method for client attraction. Can it be? Yes. It shouldn't be a primary source, though. So where else are you talking? So we're talking about social media. What about in the media? Like, are you getting any articles published in the newspapers or different publications or on other people's blogs? Are you posting videos on social media or to YouTube? Are you posting different things? So on Instagram, I'm gonna say Reels. Are you utilizing Reels? Are you utilizing different types of posts, quote cards, tip cards, carousels? Are you sending out emails to your clients? Are you sending out direct mailers to your clients? Are you networking with people either online or in person? Where are you communicating with your following? And I'm not saying you have to be everywhere because that is a lot of places, but pick a couple of lanes that you want to be in and focus on those and focus on a lot. If we learned anything because of the great social media blackout, you cannot just be in one place or even in 2 places. Because if you were only on Facebook and Instagram, you're kind of SOL. You have to be on multiple different medias and putting yourself out there, which kind of goes into whom. And that's your ideal clients. And yes, I'm going to talk again about niching down. You have to know who, and like I had mentioned before, just because you want to focus on something doesn't mean you don't take other things. Now, it should be the goal that you get so busy that you can't take other things. And you can only take, family theme park travel. I'm just throwing something out there. Or maybe it's even a great opportunity if you do get too busy for expansion and maybe to add on independent contractors so you're a full service agency. I'm not saying if that's the right or the wrong thing. These are just ideas. But you yourself, you have to niche down. That is what is giving everybody the competitive advantage. Like, I am even thinking about different people that I personally follow on Instagram, like entrepreneurs And I know someone who specializes in VIP days. I know someone who specializes in high ticket offers. I know different people who specialize in ClickUp. I know different people who specialize in client engagement, in boundary setting. I mean, there's so many different people. There's, even unique things as final wishes before you pass, like making your arrangements for before you pass. Even lots of financials and financials for beginners or side hustles. There are just so many specific niches that are out there. The more specific that you can be, the better. It is going to be like lightning, or what is that? Lightning to a flame, or it's going to catch on like wildfire. There, that's a better one. When you are talking specifically to a certain person, plus when you're communicating with one person, they may not need you, but they hear something that's like, they specialize in worldwide golf tournaments. That's what my dad loves to do. I need to see if maybe he can help my dad out. That's, it's that domino effect, like one spark, but you have to be very specific, because if he just mentioned that it was just generic golf tournaments, okay. But golf tournaments around the world, now that's sexy. Like, that adds the sexy factor. If I just said retreats for my own personal business, okay, that's nice. But me saying cruise retreats, because that's what I love to do, that's the model or the method that I love to go with, that ups the sexy factor. So if that's kind of what helps you, then go ahead and niche down to what you think is the most sexy, or what your ideal client is going to think is the most sexy, the sexiest. Are you networking? I am a huge proponent of networking, whether it's online or in person. Are you attending other online events and networking with the attendees at those online events? Because that has proven very successful in increasing my own network. Something I highly recommend that you do as well. Are you reaching out to people personally? And this is where I'm like, you need to have the confidence to be bold. Do it scared and do it imperfect, because you do not know what types of rewards there are. And I know this is so scary. I know, I have been there. And even still, I feel like I suffer sometimes from imposter syndrome, like putting the speakers together. And every time I get a yes, or even a personal phone call that I received recently, I'm like, oh my gosh, I just talked to this person. And then I'm kind of like, yeah, I just talked to this person, because we all have the capability. You have the capability. You are worthy. You are good enough. And if you don't think so, then fake it till you make it. Because you are not alone in this business. Remember that also. You have an awesome network of people supporting you. Hello, I'm one here. If you need any help, please reach out to me. If you're affiliated with a host agency or consortia, or you've been working with amazing supplier partners, you have an awesome community. Do not be afraid to ask. And even the local business owners that you know, like for Hispanic Heritage Month, I invited people. The worst they could do was say no. I invited them to do Instagram Lives with me. The worst, and what was I going to lose? Nothing, because I didn't have anything. But what did I gain was an even better relationship with those people that I had met through the interwebs. So take the risk, be bold, you can do it. And if it doesn't work out, that's okay, because you learned something in the process to help you out for the next time you do it. And each time it gets a little bit easier and a little bit easier. I promise you, from personal experience, I have been there, I have flubbed up, and I have been a champion as well. So we've all been there. Everyone starts out on the same basic level. Everyone starts out with 0 clients. Everyone always starts out with the first trip. Everyone has started out with the first client since the pandemic. Everyone has started with the first trip sailing since the pandemic. Like we're all dealing collectively with different firsts in our business right now. So do not be afraid. Do not think anybody's like higher or gone further than you have. Everybody has something to learn and is working on something in their businesses. They're just at different stages in their business. Most importantly, be of service, especially to fellow entrepreneurs, because if you did not know, us entrepreneurs are really great connectors. And so if they don't, or they cannot personally benefit from what you have to offer, they will probably know someone, and it may not be right now, but it may be somewhere down along the line. So just because something isn't fruitful right now, here in the moment, does not mean you should not be cultivating that in the future, because you could be reaping huge rewards. So, that was a lot. So if you haven't been talking about travel, a little bit of a recap, now is the time to talk about travel. If you have been talking about travel and things have not been picking up, it is time to audit your communication systems. What are you saying? How are you saying it? Where are you saying it? To whom are you saying it? Oh, and I forgot one of the most important things. When? You have to be consistent in your messaging, in your communication. So if you are posting once a week and that's the best that you can do, perfect. Go ahead and do that. If you can only attend one networking event per month because that's all that your schedule allows, perfect. Do that. Just keep doing something consistently. Pick like a couple things that you want to be doing and start off with doing them one time a month. Then add it up. Keep doing it 2 times a month. Give it a 90-day trial period. See what is coming to fruition. See what is being fruitful. Keep those things and maybe drop the ones that aren't so fruitful and try something else. Like I have heard many times and didn't understand really before, business is not linear. Just because you do one thing doesn't mean this other thing is going to happen necessarily. So it is a mad science experiment and we're all here for the ride of it. So don't burden yourself too much if something doesn't immediately happen. Something could happen in the future, or you just may need to tweak something in your process. So I hope that this has been helpful, at least to give you some sort of a pep talk, some sort of a boost, or help you evaluate something that you have been doing within your travel business. Please make sure, if you have not already and you're really liking this podcast, please give me a nice rating and review, pretty please, over on Apple Podcasts. And if you have not already signed up for Prep for Wave Week, you are going to be getting this realness plus the expertise of other people who are in our industry doing amazing things, either in their travel businesses or the support businesses that they run for us as travel entrepreneurs. Travelbiztraining.com. It is free, but if you would like to upgrade to the $25 study hall pass, you'll get some extra time with me being able to put the work on things that you have learned within each of these sessions. So have a wonderful week. I hope to see you in person virtually next week for Prep for Wave Week. And you guys have a fantastic weekend. Thanks for joining me on The Strategic Travel Entrepreneur. Please subscribe and leave the show a rating on your favorite podcast platform. Oh, and don't forget to take a look at the show notes for important information and links. See you next week.